Well, here we go. I've been a little while longer than I anticipated because the washing machine's been on and it was waiting to go to spin. And when that starts, I can't hear a thing. So this is slightly raised more than I'd normally leave it. It just peaks on the top, so it's well bulging there, isn't it? So let's crack on. Like I said, it's the first time I've done this, so I'm playing it by ear a little bit. But I think I know the direction I'm going, so we'll just crack on and see where we get to. So first of all, we're going to turn this out. Now, I always say don't flour anything when we're making doughs, etc, etc. Now this is the time where I'd normally use flour. So I'm turning it out and it's going to be shaped, so I don't want it to stick to the top. I'm going to turn it out, and this is the top, which is the non-sticky bit, and the bottom is the sticky bit. Man, saying that, it's been there slightly longer than it should have, so I wouldn't be surprised if it's stuck to the top. But it's got butter content, it's an enriched dough, which generally, to be fair, are a little bit more robust, easy to handle, less sticky. Because it's not, and it's a dry dough. So anyway, let's not worry about that. Let's get a bit of flour on the top. Just use my little dredge here. I don't want loads because I actually want to maneuver it around. I don't want it skidding everywhere because I'm going to be rolling it at some point. So let's get it out there. So let's just tip it upside down, see if it will just come out. Let's see if the little bit of oil that's in the bowl, so lightly oiled bowl, and then it's come out nice and clean, and it looks like a nice little pillow. Which, if you fancied, you could face plant that, you know, get your face straight in there. Never tried it, but I bet it'd be fun. So all we're going to do is we're going to just gently press it out like this. We're just going to flatten it out, and we create now just a rectangle basically. So I'm going for, maybe it's about just short of 30 centimeters, maybe it's 25 centimeters across. And let's just get that rolled out. Let's just loosen it as we go. So we're doing it even. I'm not, when I say rolling out, I'm patting by hand. I'm not rolling, and there's no need for any flour on this bit because this is the bit which I'll come to is going to roll. So essentially, yeah, at the moment, all we're doing is we're just pressing it out till we get somewhere near the shape, and it'll probably be easier actually. If I just get, yeah, you can see that, yeah, I was just going to say it'll be easy with the camera so you can see where we're going. And I think that is probably about 25 centimeters by about maybe 40, something like that. It's just a nice kind of thickness. It's patted out. I've got it the shape I want. And now is the time to put some filling on it, and then we're going to roll it up. So, without further ado, I'm just going to get myself a little tea towel. I always like to have something kicking around just to dry my hands, just to keep my hands a bit clean. So what we're going to do with this was we're going to paste it with a butter. Now, I've got about 40 odd grams, 40, 45, 50, something like that, of butter, which is melted to the point where it's like, you know, it's soft. I actually had it in, I've got a little dehydrator there that I had set to 35 degrees so it doesn't melt, so it softens. But there's other ways of doing it. Somebody came up with a good one off our little group. Actually, when you want to soften some butter, you know, when your dishwasher's finished and you've got like a hot bowl, put a hot bowl over the top and it creates like a little warm environment which will soften your butter. So see, little tips all the time coming, which is good. It's exactly what we want. So let's flavour it. So what we're going to flavour it with is we're going to put some allspice in, and I was going to think, shall I just use all cinnamon, and I've seen some with allspice. I thought, you know what, let's just do a blend. So I'm going to do it, which the spoon doesn't fit in. So I'm going to have to do this a little bit more, less scientific, but a decent spoon of allspice in there. There we go, a nice teaspoon of that. A nice teaspoon of cinnamon. And this is where, to be fair, I would kind of evaluate after the recipe and say, right, now I've tasted it. Should have I add more in, less in? Should I add more butter, less butter? So I've got to have a starting point. This is my starting point. And all I'm going to do now is with that butter, I'm just going to mix it into a bit of a paste, which is just what we want. I could spread the butter on and then spread the powder, which would work equally as well. But if I combine the powder with the butter, I just know for a fact it's gonna spread over everywhere without being too much of a problem. So nice soft butter. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to I'm going to make a mess with my fingers. Sometimes, or actually, because I'm going to use this. So see if that'll do the job. There we go. There's generally always a way. It's probably not, you're not going to get it all out, but let's do the best we can. Let's do the best we can. That's it. There we go. And all I'm going to do, I'm going to either use this or a palette knife. I've got both. But let's try with this first. See how we go. And there we go. Like I say, it's not a really soft dough. It's soft enough, don't get me wrong. But it's robust enough to allow me to paint it, which is what I'm doing. And just hopefully I've got enough. Which, to be fair, see, I'm not going to paint it as thin as I can, but if I can just spread it, because I've got most of it spread this side, it will even itself out, to be fair, in the whole thing. But maybe he's doing that again. I think I've got about 45. Some of them say just 25 grams. That's why I took it a bit more, to be fair. And I thought, you know what, 25 grams sounds like not enough. So I'll go more towards the 50 grams, which, to be fair, is about right there. So yeah, I think I've got 45, 50 grams, so something like that. I don't know. It's something like that. And that's enough. That's good. So, give me a second. Wash my pinkies. There we are. I'm back. Back in the room. Back in the room. Right, I put some citrus in the dough. I put some lemon in. So what I thought, as I'm kind of going on with this, what I might do, because the next job I've got to do is put some sugar on this, I might just put it close, because the oil from this will mix nicely with the butter and just flavour that. I'm just going to give it just a few rasps of orange zest, which I thought would be nice. I like orange. So lemons go with the fruit, with the stuff that I'm putting in, and oranges do. So yeah, I won't go daft. I'm not going to make it into like I say, we are doing a Chelsea bun. I'm not going to make it into a Belgian bun. But I just thought, sometimes, you know, you can have the best of both just by not being as kind of what purists would say, oh, well, you've deviated. Well, there's no such thing as deviation, because A, it's my recipe. And I didn't want it to start with, so I can't really deviate, can I? It's just, it is what I'm creating. In fact, it could just be a new hybrid species of the Belgian stroke Chelsea bun. So what I've got is I've got some light brown sugar, soft, and I'm going to measure about 75 grams of that and see where we go. 75 grams, there we go. And whether I use it all is another thing. And all I'm going to do, I'm going to sprinkle that over the top, liberally over the top. And if it looks as though there's too much, then I won't put it all in. But I do want it to be pretty sweet. Well, sweet enough. But if it looks as though I'm putting a pile of sugar on, then I'll just stop short and I'll measure what's left and I'll tell you what I've put on, because that's the way to do it, really. So I don't think I'm going to put any more on. I think that's enough. I think it'll be too sweet. And I've got 20 grams left. So I said 75. So let's say 55 grams was enough. So the next thing is some fruit. So I'm going to put on, I've got a bit all over the place here. I'm going to put on some choice of two things. I could ask you if you were here, but you're not, you're watching. So I've got some mixed fruit there, which is not a traditional. I've got some sultanas, which is traditional. So do you know what? I'm going to stick with the sultanas because I've already gone off piste a little bit. I tell you what, where's me scissors? Just when you want your scissors. Hang on, I'll be back in a second. Right. So I'm going to give them a liberal coating with my sultanas. So I don't know, to be fair, how many sultanas I should have on. But what I do know is there's 500 grams in the bag, and when I've got enough on, I'll weigh the bag and I'll tell you how many I've used. So I better zero my scales. Actually 505 grams because there's a plastic as well. So I'm not going to go mental with it, but I'm going to give it a good, because I think there's plenty in. I think there's plenty in there. But let's have a little go. Let's have a look. That looks to me, a couple more maybe. That looks, see, I tend to go by what looks right, rather than anything else. So I've used 125 grams of those, which I've seen recipes use 100 to 200. So yeah, that looks right to me. That looks, I say I've never made one before, so I don't really know, but that's it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll the thing up, but I'm kind of going to do it kind of tightly, if you know what I mean. So I'm going to pull that end, and I'm going to start rolling like this, and as I'm going, I'm just going to stretch it and roll, stretch and roll, stretch and roll, stretch and roll. There we go. We've got a nice little sausage there, and all I'm going to do where the seam is, I'm kind of just going to tuck it together. A bit of nip and tuck going on here, bit of nip and tuck. There we go, just pinching it together, just to try to get it not too tight, if you know what I mean. But so it's just kind of even. Now I can feel it's getting a little bit tacky because I've left it out a while I've been talking. I know, before you say, I know. But if you do less talking, you'll crack on and it won't stick. I know these things. So right, I'm going to turn that over, and that's looking a little bit on the wet side. So I'm just going to give that a go, and there we go. So we've got a nice roll, which is good. The next thing, and I don't know why I didn't bring the scissors in because I need them. We've got a square tin, which is the thing that makes it different from a Chelsea bun to a Belgian bun. Chelsea one's a square around the edges, so we're using a square tin. So bear with me again. If I'd been properly sorted out, I know. If you'd have been organised, I know. So this is a bit big, so I'm going to just overall take the edge off. There we go. And kind of what I'm going to do with this, if you can see, I'm going to put it over the tin, and I can see where the corners are. I'm just going to put it into the corners. So there's one corner. Here's the other corner. Here's the other corner there, just roughly, something like that. And here's the other corner. If I go somewhere opposite to that, it'll be somewhere there. So when I put my paper in and press it down, it makes a neat edge around there. So where I've cut, it'll bend round, and you've got yourself probably too much on there. Like, actually, I'm not close enough to that corner. That's better. That's why it's not going. There we go. So I've got myself. I'll trim the top up as well while I'm there. You're gonna say, I know what you're saying. You've made the right pigs here, haven't you? Well, as long as it's lined. All I'm interested in, to be fair, is getting the Belgian bun in there, or the Chelsea bun even, because I'm doing Chelsea buns, not Belgian buns. Getting it in and be able to lift it out. That's all I'm interested in. So I want 9 pieces out of this. So I'm going to cut it into 3, and then into 3 again. And when I went to school, that was 9. So let's have a go. So I'll go. Yeah, just bear with me. I did have a knife. Now I haven't got a knife. Honestly, today I don't know what's going on. Here we are. There we go. So get yourself a sharp knife. So here we go. Now I don't know whether you keep the ends or not, so I'm going to assume you do, but you probably don't. Anyway, because it'll only, I'll just use the good side of it. So if I cut that into 3, so there's a third. There we go. And then another third. But all right, yeah. We don't have to be too scientific, as long as we're somewhere near. I'm sure it will work out. and then 3 pieces. So I tell you what's easier to do actually, if you just mark the top where you're going. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and what we might do is we might just get rid of that end. Yeah, we'll just tidy that end up, and then again 1, 2, 3, and we'll tidy the end up because it'll be too much dough. I know by looking at it, it'll be too much dough, which is a shame, but there you go. We sacrifice in the scheme of making things nice. So again, we're just going to cut through there. There we go. And then we're going to turn it on its side. Oh, throw it straight in the tin. I know. Before you say, I know I've thrown it in the tin. I know. The trouble is I'm trying to let you see. I'm not watching what I'm doing, am I? So again, same thing again. Try not to cut your finger off, Jace. That'd be good if you don't do that. Alright, I'll do my best. And there's number 2. Let's just squash that down so that they're the same height-ish. And I'm not sure whether this tin is going to be too small. I think these are going to be quite tight, to be fair. I think you're supposed to leave about 1 centimetre, because these are going to rise again, you know. Just wondering if I have got a bigger tin. I've never done these before, so I just thought I'd probably be big enough, and it might not be. If it's not, we'll have to come out and we'll have to do another tin, won't we? That's just all there is to it. Or might just go with it. Yeah, it'll fill up. The thing is, if it doesn't go that way, it'll go that way. So I don't know. It's not a big deal. I'm sure it'll be nice. So here we go. The last 3. And I wouldn't normally use this knife. I'd use like a serrated knife, but to be fair, I'm talking to you, and I didn't have time to go through the drawer. I just picked the first one up, which it's just that's it. It's just the way it is, isn't it? It's just the way it is. And there we go. Chelsea buns, looking all right, I think. So they're going to now prove. So the first one was a rest. So they're going to prove and they're going to puff up. And I think this is going to be too small. What I might do is I might have a look in the cupboard to see if there is a bigger tin. But if not, we'll keep it in there and we'll sort it from there. But just I can smell 11 come through. It's smelling good. So number 1, I think we're all right with that. The smell's great. And as soon as I'll cover it over. As soon as it's done, about an hour, we'll get it in the oven, bake it off and see what it's like. So there we go. That's our Chelsea buns prepped. The only thing to go over the top is a glaze. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some apricot jam and let that down, maybe with a bit of water or apple juice or something like that. Create a sticky glaze, and when it's finished, it's going to get painted. So that's it for now. So Chelsea buns part 2 finished, tick. And we'll see you when they're ready for the next stage. So bye for now.